Hey folks, welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today, I'm going to discuss a number of different topics before the markets open up on Monday. And some of those things I'm going to be discussing is the inflation numbers. I'm going to talk about AMC. I'm going to talk and touch on sand, the prophetic word from Maria Conwell, 3 arrows in Mount GOX. And I'm also going to touch on self-custody, hard wallets. Now, before I get into all this, folks, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. So if you guys like these videos that I make, the support links are down below in the description and also the About section of YouTube. All right, so the first thing that I want to get into is Sandbox, and that is the crypto SAND. Maria Conwell had a specific word that came out this morning. And if you guys are invested in sand, then that would be a cryptocurrency that I would get out of if you're going by the prophetic as something that you need to pray about, as she says. But there is this video. I've watched it several times. It's on One Small Flame. I will put this link down below in the description for you guys to check it out. Now, we've also talked about on the Patreon and also in the groups, we've talked about shorting sand. All right, so I've actually shorted sand. It was actually the first time I've ever shorted any stock or crypto or anything like that. So I decided to take a chance and to go with this, because with some of the contracts that I've done, I've actually did long contracts as opposed to shorting. And I haven't been doing anything because the fluctuation of Bitcoin and the crypto markets are so up and down and so many people are getting liquidated. I just backed off from doing any longing at all. So I went ahead, decided to go ahead and short that. Now, she didn't say to short it. I'm just shorting it because I see it as an opportunity. And so I believe on Kucoin, it is SAND 3S. That is it there. And on the Phoenix contracts, it is the SAND USD pair. Now, listen, folks, if you're not experienced, don't do it. I believe on the Patreon, when I shared the original information about Sandbox, I did put in the link where I had been sharing with you guys before about the perpetual contracts, right? It's just like shorting, just a little bit different. And currently right now, from earlier today, Sandbox is actually down about 3 cents, right? So who knows what's going to happen, if there's going to be some news or some massive sell-off that's going to cause this to crash. Now, this stock was on the prophetic list, okay? And I did take it off temporarily because it did have its run up already, right, back last year. And I'll get into this in another video, but it actually went from like 30-something cents all the way up to like, went all the way up to like almost like $8.30, okay? And of course, it's just like everything else in the pullback that I've been talking about. It's came all the way down to the price to where it's at right now. Now, I will say this, folks. I have been saying for a while, and you guys need to remember to keep up with these videos. If you are investing in anything that I'm sharing on here, like the prophetic list and all that, make sure that you keep up, because I've been saying that I'm only stacking up on certain coins, like my XRP, my XLM. When I see it, decent prices, okay, let me go ahead and buy some more. If I see Shiba Inu, hit its 7-day low, then I'll invest and pick some up. But as far as everything else, I'm not touching everything else until I know, and what I've been sharing, that when we get this other Bitcoin drop, I have been expecting Bitcoin to drop here anywhere from 10,000 to 16,500. Okay, so if that happens, it doesn't matter what crypto it is, Sandbox, and then all these other cryptocurrencies, they're all going to drop. Okay, right? So you guys have to pay attention to that. Right, so if I'm telling you that I'm expecting a drop, right, you see Sandbox where it's at, and if you were thinking about buying this, then I wouldn't buy it, because it's going to drop even lower, even without this prophetic word. If there's all this expectation for Bitcoin to still hit its bottom, there are still so many other issues, which I'm going to go ahead and get into. So here we have the Consumer Price Index report, right? This is the inflation numbers come out on July the 13th. I've been saying it for a while now, that these numbers, they come out every month, and July 13th is almost here. And as I've been sharing all last week and previously before, 2 days before this inflation numbers come out, right, you're going to see red in the markets because they're expecting it to be worse. Now, what they are expecting is to be somewhat around the 8.6, maybe 8.8, I have no clue, no idea what it's going to be. But usually Monday and Tuesday, if they're expecting the inflation report to be the same or worse, then you're going to see a lot of red in the markets and in the cryptocurrency markets. And that's why I also shared with you guys, follow those people who are doing the technical analysis, and they're going to tell you exactly what I'm sharing with you. And they are sharing that. So for me, like, I've set up my stop loss orders, and I'm going to discuss AMC and whether or not if I'm going to do that or not. But I don't have very many stocks. I have oil stocks that I've already set my stop losses on. And I'm still expecting some type of boost within some of these oil stocks that we're in. A lot of them are highly shorted and ready for squeeze, right? Despite what's going on in the oil markets and all that stuff. So I still have some that I'm holding on to, but I have my stop losses in order. So if they kick in, guess what? I'll just go back in and buy some of those back at a lower price. So now, as far as my stop losses for cryptocurrency, there might be some cryptos that I do set up stop losses on. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and discuss AMC. Many of us have been waiting for a very long time, since 2021, for something to happen with AMC, right? We actually saw AMC go all the way down to $10. So Adam Aaron, a couple days ago, tweeted this out, right? He's the CEO of AMC, and we're expecting this pounce on the shorts, right? I made a video specifically about this. And this is what he posted the other day. I keep getting asked when pounce. Know this. Number one, I always keep my word. I've said publicly a pounce would not happen before second quarter 2022 earnings were announced. Press release issued today that quarter two earnings will be announced on Thursday, August the 4th. Read between those lines. They already have something planned what they're going to do to attack the shorts, right? So, and from what I understand right now, they are still doubling and tripling, quadrupling down. They are still trying to pull the stock down, because of all the pride. Folks, I discussed that, what these hedge funds, they're so prideful about the game that they are losing. See, what you don't understand about the short game, it was exposed, and it was exposed when people couldn't buy the stock when it was squeezing, right? Because they shut off the buy button, right? And all the information and the reports and all that, and the communications between these companies and the hedge funds and all that, there was a lot of corruption dealing with that situation. And the shorting game was exposed. And if you don't understand the importance of what was going on, they were literally cheating in the stock market for many, many, many years. Took of a group of investors to expose it all. It wasn't, anybody in any administration up before that point that made this exposure or talked about this exposure. And guess what? If that event had never happened, they would still be getting away with it. And so it doesn't matter what administration you're under. They've been doing it for so long and cheating the system for so long, right? And it's actually destroyed companies. It's destroyed jobs. It's destroyed livelihoods. Just for the simple fact they can do it and get away with it and use synthetic shorts to do it and make money. So AMC closed out at $14.74 on Friday. So I know I had said that I saw AMC going all the way down to $10, but I actually had started buying before then and started averaging down, and then it did hit actually under the $10 mark. So we are almost there, folks. So just give it a little bit more time. And for those who have invested, our day for AMC is coming. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Three Arrows Capital. And folks, this really all happened when Luna crashed, right? And the stablecoin UST went off its peg, and then it crashed. It exposed a lot of bad loans, corruption. A lot of people were over leveraged. So there's just been this big domino effect. And actually, Three Arrows Capital was a massive, massive issue for the whole entire cryptocurrency market. Like with Voyager and some other smaller platforms, you got Celsius issue. You see, all these people were exposed to all these companies that were doing some really shady stuff. So they're actually trying to stop the liquidators, and possibly what they were trying to do is maybe wait for a bounce in the cryptocurrency market so it won't be as bad. But what's going on is, with this article says here, Three Arrows Capital bankruptcy filing claims location of co-founders is currently unknown. And they believe that they've actually left the country. Now, this happened in Singapore. Okay, now you have to remember, a lot of these platforms and a lot of these companies that are based outside of the United States, and some of these are based in Asia, where the rules and regulations are a lot looser. So you guys, we need to be really, really careful of the platforms. And that's why it's going to be important at some point. When Bitcoin does go to zero, I'm not sure so much this first time that we experience it, but according to the prophetic word, that it will happen after it hits 100,000, and there will be some event or just over time, and then other events that lead to what we're experiencing right now. But that could also lead to a lot of platforms not surviving. Some of these platforms, the only thing you should have on there is Bitcoin buy limit orders to begin with. So maybe I'll have to do a video and go over the ones that I've discussed in the Bitcoin buy limit order document. Because especially the prophetic ones, I think a lot of people like to ask me questions. Well, what about KuCoin? And well, I don't think God would give us these prophetic platforms for them to fold all of a sudden. That wouldn't make any sense. So, you either got to believe in the word or not. Then you have this other issue with Mt. GOX, and I've been talking about it. And this article here will release of 3 billion Bitcoin for Mt. GOX cause market bottom in August, right? 137,000 BTC may soon hit the market as Mt. GOX is set up to release funds to creditors that has been locked up for 7 years. How may this affect the price of Bitcoin, and will it cause a further leg down? So Mt. Gox and the rehab trustee sent an email to creditors giving them the option to receive USD, BTC, or Bitcoin Cash. Right? So either way, if they want cash, they're going to have to sell off some BTC. And the people who do receive BTC may go ahead and sell it off anyway. But it just goes to show what the Bitcoin markets are facing right now, folks. So that's why I say be very careful about where you're investing in. So I do want to go ahead and touch on self-custody, which is hard wallets, right? Taking what you have and as far as cryptocurrency and transferring them over to a hard wallet. Now, one of the big issues, the biggest complaints that I get for people who don't have that much money, right? Say, for instance, maybe you only have $200 or $300 in Shiba Inu and you go to transfer it and you're like, what the hell? They're taking a quarter of it, You have to be very careful in your decision making. But I think that because of what has been exposed with over the last several months in the cryptocurrency industry, and then you got like Voyager that's pausing withdrawals, and people can't get their money out right now. People in Celsius can't get their money out right now. There's some smaller exchanges around the world that have done the same thing. So really this affects everybody. Here pretty soon, the Ethereum merge is going to cause the Ethereum gas prices to drop dramatically, right? So it's going to be way cheaper to send stuff to your wallets and stuff like that. I had somebody write me, they told me they almost lost half of their investment sending their stuff to a hard wallet. And maybe I'll just do a separate video on this, but it is something to think about as far as self-custody because of all these issues that are going on currently right now. Now, when it comes to the way that I look at things, that if we're expecting some type of crash later on, like after the next Bitcoin bull run, right? Most of my cryptocurrency I'll probably sell off anyway and be holding cash or whatever during that time period. And whatever I have left over, that I want to keep, I'll just put it onto a hard wallet. So that's just kind of the way that I'm thinking. Because just say, for instance, if Bitcoin's running up over 100,000, we know at 111,000 that it's going to crash, and I'm selling off and if I'm selling off most of my cryptocurrency off before that 111,000 mark, and then resetting up my Bitcoin buy limit orders or any other orders, and then I'm putting the rest onto a hard wallet, right? But most of what I'll be taking is cash anyway. And by then, a lot of us should already be in a really, really good position. So you want to start doing research, what are the best hard wallets that are out there? Got all these different ones. You can also go into YouTube and look at some of these videos, right? If you don't plan on getting one right now, I am pretty confident about where I'm at and what platforms I'm using, especially with the prophetic platforms. And I have my security features and all that stuff that are activated. But I mean, nothing is 100% secure. But the thing about it is that I can't be transferring back and forth from a hard wallet to a platform to sell, especially when the markets are going to be volatile. And for any reason, if you're out and about somewhere and things begin to happen, you got to hurry up and try to transfer stuff from your hard wallet to your platform and all that. So just start doing the research. I have posted in the Patreon and on the Discord some of these videos about the best crypto wallets. So you need to pay attention, watch the videos, do your research, because you don't want to mess anything up either too as well. And I know that not everybody is technically savvy, so that's why you have to watch the videos over and over again and ask questions if you need to. If you guys don't have one, I want you guys to start thinking about it and start doing the research. So I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.